Not big, but bigger than expected. Just how much oil Alyeska pipeline is working to recover in Valdez waters. A murder investigation closes in Anchorage Lake, where divers were searching for clues, one step at a time. The cause that got hundreds in Anchorage moving this morning.
You're watching Alaska's high-definition news leader. This is KTVA 11 News Nightcast.
Good evening, I'm Liz Raines in for Bonnie Bowman. An oil spill near the port of Valdez is now twice as big as response crews originally expected. Alyeska Pipeline says it's been working 24 hours a day since Thursday morning to contain a spill around the Valdez Marine Terminal. The company says a water-oil mix went into the port during a machinery test. As of tonight, it's recovered about 400 gallons. More than 200 people were involved in the cleanup.
People have owned it. They're out there. They're looking at it. This is our home. For example, everyone that works on my team lives in Valdez. Now, this is our home. They're taking it seriously, and it's been a very effective response.
And the spill is still under investigation. The company says it will continue work until all of the oil sheen is cleared. And part of Cheney Lake was closed for several hours today. The Anchorage Fire Department's dive team helped police look for evidence in an ongoing murder investigation. Markers at different points on the water guided divers as they searched the bottom of the lake. It's been almost 2 weeks since police arrested 27-year-old Randall Egu. He faces murder charges in connection with the death of 65-year-old Gregory Gill at the Aurora Paint Company on Arctic Boulevard. Egu is accused of stealing Gill's vehicle. He was chased to the lake before he jumped in the water. Neither police at the scene nor an APD spokesperson would answer questions about today's search. It ended around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Well, Alaska has been at the heart of a national debate on health care reform this week. The Senate is preparing to vote on the latest bill to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. Today, a group of Alaskans gathered outside the offices of Senators Lisa Murkowski and Dan Sullivan downtown, urging the pair to oppose the latest proposal by Senators Lindsey Graham and Bill Cassidy. Governor Bill Walker joined arms with 9 others to oppose the measure Tuesday. Now the group says it's time for Murkowski and Sullivan to do the same.
It would affect me personally with a lot of the pre-existing condition pieces. This would affect our state by removing care for thousands of Alaskans. And overall, it would reduce the funding we receive from the federal government.
Upping the political pressure, Vice President Mike Pence weighed in on local radio shows Thursday, urging Alaska's conservative audiences to contact Sullivan and Murkowski in support of the bill.
People want to get rid of the mandate that requires them to buy health insurance or pay a penalty. I just encourage you to call both of your senators and let them know you support the Graham-Cassidy bill.
Pence says the Senate could vote on the measure as soon as next week. Well, both the American Heart and Stroke Association say heart disease and stroke is 80% preventable. Earlier today, hundreds of people raised their heartbeats and some much-needed funds to help fight this disease. KTVA 11's Patrick Musanak takes us to the Heart Walk event at the Delaney Park Strip.
3, 2, 1. And off they go. Hundreds of heart walkers taking part in the 18th annual Healthy for Good Heart Walk at Delaney Park Strip, each one with a personal connection to both heart disease and stroke.
I'm walking for my Uncle Larry and my Aunt Sue, who are both currently surviving all of this.
Let's go! Heart walkers!
We're remembering our loved ones, that have passed away or are currently, going through this situation, so it's very heartwarming to us.
Let's go! Heart walkers!
The 5K walk also included a 1-mile survivors route, many of them with stories like Kenny Gill, who has a higher risk of stroke due to his atrial fibrillation condition, the disease he blames on his once sedentary lifestyle.
A lack of exercise, terrible diet, too much beer. And when I was in the hospital for 3 days, I had no one to blame but myself. It was all on me.
Gill says he's made a lot of lifestyle changes since then. Dropping 60 pounds was the first priority.
Changing how you eat, eating, chicken, fish, and a lot of green vegetables. Not drinking beer. Walking, getting out and doing exercise. Not living that sedentary lifestyle.
The American Heart Association is hoping to raise at least $250,000 for the day's event, money that will be used for research and community programs that has helped survivors in the past earn a second chance at life.
Oh, it's so important. I wouldn't be here. My family has a history of cardiomyopathy, and, you know, I'm alive today much longer than my dad. He had a transplant and rejected, and I'm still here, so I'm so grateful.
Walkers raising their heartbeat one step at a time. Patrick Mucinak, KTVA 11 News.
Well, it looks like the event met its goal today. It raised about $300,000. The American Heart Association and the American Stroke Association both have helpful tips on how you can improve your heart health. You can find that information on our website, ktva.com. Well, Alaska may be in a recession, but economists say at least one part of the state is still growing. A new report by the Department of Labor shows the Mat-Su had a steady increase in jobs in 2016, and its population grew by 3%, compared to less than 1% here in Anchorage and throughout the state. Now, economists say that part of that has to do with that key population, and because Mat-Su is growing and a lot of those workers work in places outside of the Mat-Su where they bring in higher wages, they then spend that money in the valley on housing and goods and other services. Governor Bill Walker is calling for a tax on Alaska wages to help fill the state's budget gap. Walker's proposing a 1.5% tax on earnings from both residents and non-residents. But there's a cap. Whatever the dividend is, times 2 is the maximum anyone will have to pay. Here's what that could mean for you. If you don't work, you don't pay anything. If you make $50,000 a year, per se, you'd be on the hook for about $750, part of which you could offset with your dividend, and the cap kicks in around $150,000, meaning the max you'd pay in a year like this one is $2,200. So far, the proposal hasn't garnered enthusiasm from either end of the political spectrum.
I'd have to take a look at the full details of the bill, but out on the surface, it doesn't sound like something that is going to be fair for all Alaskans, and that's I think the bottom line.
You're not going to try to pull a fast one on anyone here. It's still a tax during a recession, and that's not acceptable.
The Commissioner of Revenue says he's avoided calling this measure an income tax because it only taxes wages, not retirement pensions or, say, income from property rentals. Lawmakers will debate the tax in a special session starting Monday, October 23rd. Well, another Anchorage tradition today to help kids stay warm and in style.
I like my coat because me and my dad are a Lakers fan.
Today, the Salvation Army held their annual Coats4kids Giveaway. They handed out about 1,000 coats this year. They've held the event for more than 25 years now. The coats were accepted at places like Kreiner's Burgers and Pies, and fireweed cleaners made sure they were all clean. But the warmth from the jackets isn't the only thing they hope people took away from the event today.
We really want families to have a sense of hope, right? That somebody cares. There's so many difficulties not only in Anchorage, but in the world. And we want people to come today not just to get that warm coat, but we want them to understand that somebody cares.
If you missed today's giveaway, they say you can still check your local Salvation Army. There's also the Christmas giveaway later this year at Sullivan Arena. We don't quite need those winter coats just yet. Christina, how are you looking temperature-wise?
We're pretty mild right now. The big news is all the wet weather that we're getting. Girdwood today over half an inch, actually 7/10 of an inch, and some spots over 3 inches. You can see on our satellite radar, Chenega was one of those spots. Cordova over 3 inches today, and areas like Bird Ridge over an inch. Quite a bit of precipitation. Anchorage, we're getting the downsloping, so not a whole lot. Here you can see a little bit closer at from Chenega to Seward to Fox River. Still some heavy downpours as we speak. Western Alaska also getting some wet weather from Bethel to Dillingham to Egegik, and some spots starting to clear up. By early next week, we will see a little bit more sunshine moving into the picture, but for now, the wet weather stays for most of the southern part of the state. Temperatures pretty seasonable for this time of year, into the 30s on the north slope, 40s and 50s elsewhere. And a quick look at what you can expect over the next few days. Showers continue, flood warning on the Kenai, and clearing by Monday. I'll have all the details coming up in the full weather forecast.
All right. Thanks, Christina. Search and rescue efforts continue in Mexico City. The problem some crews are having with the city around them as they search through the rubble.
Weekends with KTVA 11 News is sponsored by Kendall Toyota of Anchorage. Let's start something great.
Toyota's end-of-season savings event. Your last chance to get a 2017 Toyota with special year-end savings, including financing options as low as 0%, up to $3,500 in cash back, or special low-payment leases. Choose the new 2017 Tundra Double Cab or Crew Max, both with outstanding limited-time savings. Or ask about special offers on all remaining 2017 Highlanders. So hurry in because they're going fast. For full savings details, visit Kendall Toyota of Anchorage today. Toyota, let's go places.
Hi, I'm Tammy, and our customers are talking about how easy it is to buy new tires from Alaska Tire Service.
I love making an appointment that fits my schedule and my budget.
I like not having to wait in long lines. Now that I found this service, buying tires is stress-free.
At Alaska Tire Service, our family's promise is to get you in and out in about 30 minutes.
Alaska Tire Service, your family's been
Thursday Night Football is back. Offense, defense, strategy, playmaking, victory, and defeat. Yes, NFL Thursday Night Football. It's more than just a game. Well, it is a game, but you get the idea. Thursday Night Football. Don't miss it on CBS. Sponsored in part by the Lazy Boy Store.
I've been going to Planned Parenthood for 27 years for birth control and well woman checks, and I still go to Planned Parenthood today. I'm going tomorrow, actually. One of the reasons I sought out Planned Parenthood, especially when I was young, is they offered a sliding scale. It's so important to have somewhere to go that you can actually afford that care. Sometimes people ask me if I'm pro-choice or pro-life, and I answer that I'm pro-birth control. For that reason, I'm pro-Planned Parenthood.
You're watching KTVA, the voice of Alaska. This is KTVA 11 News Nightcast.
The death toll from the earthquake that hit Mexico this week has climbed to 307. More than half of those were deaths in Mexico City. Rescue efforts paused today as the country was rattled again by a magnitude 6.1 aftershock. Manuel Bojorquez is in Mexico City tonight.
A series of aftershocks south of Mexico City sent people once again running into the streets and search and rescue crews evacuating already unsteady mounds of debris. Closer to the epicenter, the 6.1 magnitude quake brought down this bridge near Oaxaca. Once the ground stopped shaking, crews returned to what's left of a 6-story office building in Mexico City, where more than 40 people were listed as missing. Mariel Mendoza has been camped out here since Wednesday. Her cousin, Ivan Colin Fernandez, an accountant, was working on the 4th floor of this building when the quake hit.
Well, we know that they found people on the 4th floor. I think that they found like 2 different groups, and that some of them, like, they show they are alive.
There are signs of life?
So we are like hoping for him to be one of those.
Parts of the city are trying to reopen for business, leading to tension. As an officer tried to reopen a busy boulevard, searchers and family members who wanted silence protested, still hoping to hear sounds from possible survivors under the rubble.
While the death toll has topped 300, the number of people rescued from collapsed buildings has reached nearly 70. Well, still ahead, some rebuilding in Anchorage over the past week is paying off. An update on the dome as its reopening approaches when we come back. But first, here's Christina.
Well, we've reached the halfway point with daylight and darkness, and we've got a lot of wet weather in store for your half of daylight tomorrow. I'll tell you all about it after the break. Stay with us.
Jackpot.
Sit down and don't make me kick your...
It was just starting to get really good. SEAL Team, premiere CBS Wednesday.
The Peanut Farm has the best. From an early breakfast with plenty of hot coffee, through midday lunch with a cool drink, to a late night dinner with a libation of your choice. Check out the cozy classic side with lots of room for groups and events. Want to watch the big game? Nothing in Alaska compares to the Peanut Farm's 70 big screen TVs. Or you can catch some sun in our cheerful solarium for food and fun year round. Come on down to the Peanut Farm.
Looking for fundraising ideas? Visit KrispyKreme.com
and get fresh, creative fundraising ideas. They're hot.
Okay, Alaska, our new mattresses are here and they're incredible. All made in America and high-quality mattresses at the best prices in the state. Sit on the edge with 360-degree foam encasement. Get ultimate body contouring with ingenious nanocoil technology, cooling foams, innovative hybrid properties. These are ultra-luxury features you'll only find in America's top mattress brands. And we have them for a fraction of the cost of our competitor. Get over to one of our major locations statewide to check out Bailey's new U.S.-made mattresses and start sleeping better tonight.
Race it to the door.
It starts at a very young age.
Hey, I'll race you to the parking lot.
It escalates as they get older.
Beat ya.
Race you to the store.
The stakes can get really high. If you keep the speeding off the roads, you can stick around to pass it on.
Looking for fundraising ideas? Visit KrispyKreme.com and get fresh, creative fundraising ideas. They're hot.
From the Alaska Weather Center, here's meteorologist Christina Campbell.
This rainy pattern continues across the entire south central region, and some of the rain is falling pretty heavy in spots like Chenega and Cordova, where they've received already over 3 inches of precipitation. Other spots receiving over an inch along Turnagain Arm, and we see it all the downsloping taking place in the Anchorage area. You see it all stopped on the leeward side of the mountain ranges, and it picks up just on the other side of the inlet. Some of these spots will see heavy downpours through the night and again tomorrow, but the rain is definitely going to continue in the forecast, at least for the rest of your weekend. Right now, our temperature at 50 degrees and our dew point at 49. You may notice some fog out there. They're catching up to each other, and anytime the temperature dips to the dew point, you can definitely expect some fog out there. Our pressure currently falling. Our winds out of the north-northwest at 3 miles per hour. And today's high right about where we should be, 51 degrees. Not much of a difference in our overnight low, which was 48 degrees, way above our averages for this time of year. But so it's kind of muggy and mild out there. Across the metro area, temperatures also into the upper 40s and lower 50s, except at Arctic Valley, where they have a temperature of 39 degrees. It's 45 at Rabbit Creek. And even across the south central region, pretty mild at this time of night, with temperatures in the mid to lower 50s, at least for now. So we're not going to see really cold temperatures moving in, at least overnight, unless you head inland, and they'll start to dip back into the 30s for a few spots, even 20s for a few spots. But the main story is this low. You see high pressure all the way around it, and that's going to try to eke in and give us a break around Monday, maybe tomorrow night. But for now, we still have all this wet weather, a lot of warm moisture that was in the air, and then we have these waves of energy that keep circulating. So it kept the showers around for the last several days, and we're finally going to start to see some of it break up, but not before we get a little bit more of it tomorrow. So by Monday, we start to see it break up even more, clearing just a little bit for Norton Sound, for Kotzebue and Nome. Otherwise, most of the state will be under the influence of wet weather and clouds. And that's definitely the story for the southeast panhandle, where highs will be dipping into the mid-50s with overnight lows in the upper 40s. So close range there, but wet weather will definitely stick around. You'll see some sun breaks for the interior, but the clouds also move in there. And overnight lows start dipping back into the 30s, into the 20s overnight for the North Slope, and they see cloudy conditions with a chance of mixed precipitation. Out toward the west, the coastal areas may see a few sun breaks, but you head further inland, and they're likely to see the shower activity with highs only in the upper 40s for a few spots. And then some well-needed sunshine, at least sun breaks partly for parts of the Alaska Peninsula, but windy weather will definitely continue in that region. Also, that flood warning for the Kenai River and Snow River from Kenai Lake to Ski Lac Lake continues at least through until Monday. Otherwise, wet weather with mild temperatures. Also for the Copper River Basin and the Prince William Sound, heavy downpours at times with a few gusty winds, otherwise mild temperatures The Matsu Valley also looking at some cloudy skies with scattered showers. Highs in the mid to upper 50s for a few spots, 40s overnight. Girdwood will see some rain and some gusty winds tonight. Anchorage just the downsloping, so likely just sprinkles, not a whole lot in terms of rain. But we still have rain in the forecast, at least showers likely for your Sunday. And then again on Monday, but it begins to taper off, and we're likely to see more sun breaks developing by Monday, and Tuesday looking pretty good. We get more sun breaks, but the showers stay in the forecast. You can't, even having all of them is pretty good. At least we get the return of sunshine and blue sky partly, and the real nice weather really comes back to us by next weekend.
All right, just got to get through this weekend. Good to see some sunshine on the way. Thanks, Christina.
Okay.
Well, if you drove by the Dome today, you probably saw something familiar back on the skyline. The Dome is now fully inflated. That doesn't mean that it's fixed. Last weekend, we told you volunteers were helping to check the Dome for tears. The owners say they'll go through a series of inflations and deflations as they test the structural integrity of the Dome. Earlier this month, the owners said they hope to have the Dome officially reopened by November 1st. And boy, am I glad to hear that, because I used to run track in the Dome.
It was rains.
It really saved our butts when it was still snowy and icy outside.
I mean, the kids love it. The community loves it. Good to see it back.
That's
Very
right.
Good. Positive things. Speaking of positive things, AK football, week 7. We're like halfway through. Some great highlights. A shootout over at Service High School, and a great story from Diamond coming up next.
Big changes on the new season of Kevin Can Wait.
You're looking at the wrong camera, dummy.
Okay, I think I know how TV works, okay?
Leah Remini joins the cast of Kevin Can Wait, premieres CBS Monday.
When you get your mortgage through Credit Union One, you get more than a low interest rate and the keys to your family's dream home. You become a member and join an organization that cares. Since 2011, with the support of our super members, CU1 has provided over 23,000 volunteer hours and $1.2 million to organizations like the Food Bank of Alaska, who distribute fresh food to families in need. Look around and you'll catch a glimpse of someone super. Credit Union One, making Alaska a better place for all.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ty Bell, and this is my awesome daughter, Courtney. At Vein Specialist of Alaska, we love meeting and taking great care of our patients.
My first visit here working with Dr. Bell was great. It was just like walking in and meeting your uncle for the afternoon. Even though we had never met before, it was just like we'd been long-lost friends.
Call my dad at Vein Specialist of Alaska today. Hey!
It's fleet liquidation time at Great Alaskan Holidays, and we have the lowest prices in years. Look at these two beautiful 2016 Mini Winnies, our most popular floor plans, both of them great for the whole family. One with bunks and one with a gigantic living room. Priced at $59,995 with monthly payments from $379, or choose 0 down and drive away today. So come on down to Great Alaskan Holidays, 9800 Old Seward Highway.
I don't work for Planned Parenthood. I work for another Alaska provider who accepts Medicaid. Our clinic is bursting at the seams. We are always full, and we go through periods of time where we are actually so full we can't accept new patients. Being able to refer those people to Planned Parenthood and know that they will also be taken care of there is a huge resource. Without Planned Parenthood, these patients would have nowhere else to go. I'm an Alaskan doctor, and I stand with Planned Parenthood.
KTVA 11 Sports with John Thompson.
Across the state, playoff implications, conference titles up for grabs, including an opportunity for the reigning Division I champions. Dave LaValle had the call on GCI Channel 907.
A happy homecoming here at East High as the Thunderbirds welcomed in West for this afternoon's game. Not the first half that fans and players expected, as we had no score, but boy, did things turn around in the second half. East put up 28 points en route to their 28-14 victory over West. The win gives the T-Birds the Cook Inlet Conference regular season crown. East improves to 4-0 in the CIC. West falls to 2-2, but still remains one of the top 4 contenders in the conference to advance to the postseason. At East High School, Dave LaValle, KTVA 11 Sports.
Well, number 2 in the CIC, Bartlett at service tonight. Bartlett jumped up 7-0 early on a Hunter Cargill rush. We're still in the first here. Service on their own 1-yard line. Jason Villanueva KO trying to escape Perry Snyder. And he finds Big D lineman Romer Mewborn. Romer, congrats. The pick 6, 14-0 Bartlett. Service, though, they would respond next possession. Villanueva KO escapes some problems there. Goes deep in coverage. That's eyes on Hogan with the grab. And somehow, look at this man, hulking up. Hogan able to escape defenders, take it to the house. That was a 60-ish yard airstrike, gets service within a score. A big night for Bartlett's Jonte Edwards. He would put them up 28-19 midway through the second. A great game, a real shootout, came right down to the finish. Bartlett able to hold on and secure second in the CIC, 49-43, the final over service. It was senior night at Diamond. The Lynx welcoming South 3-0 visitors late in the second when Peo Benz hit Trevor Houghton for the score. Wolverines would take a 10-0 lead into the half. Third quarter, 17-0. Ben Stokes gets the short touchdown run, make it 17-0 South. Diamond comes back, but the Wolverines hold on for the 23-13 win, first conference victory of the season. But the big winners tonight, Diamond's Nick Bell on your left and Jared Hall, number 8. Hall scored on a play at the very end of the game. He and Bell, they served as team managers for the last 4 years, both special needs students who always wanted to play football for the Lynx. Head coach Nick Winkler, he gave them their chance tonight. And Dave LaValle going to have that wonderful story tomorrow night at 5 and 10 o'clock right here. Hey, Chugiak, a big 42-6 victory at Wasilla tonight. Watching one of Derek Schnell's 4 touchdowns, courtesy Matt Tunseth on Twitter. Chugiak stays unbeaten. They take on unbeaten Colony Thursday night for the Rail Belt Crown, and that will be broadcast around the state on GCI Channel 907. History made on the peninsula today. Palmer punching a ticket to the playoffs, 35-8 win over Kenai. It was head coach Rod Christensen's 151st career win. He's now the winningest head coach in Alaska football history, passing the legendary Buck Nystrom. Sohai also securing a playoff spot, topping Eagle River 42-8, 56 straight wins for the Stars. That's the second longest active win streak in the nation. We'll take you to the Alaska Airlines Center. UAA hockey in full gear. Look at that. Got to be hot. Supporting number 20 in the nation, UAA volleyball. Seawolves hosting Seattle Pacific. Madison Fisher, great night, 29 assists, 11 digs. UAA wins in 4 sets, and they remain unbeaten in GNAC play, their 5th straight victory. They're on the road next week at Northwest Nazarene on Thursday. Now, Oktoberfest Run to End Homelessness happened today. Lisa Anglin and Chavin Davidson, your top finishers in the 5K. You had Karen Kirk and Grant Stevenson with the top times in the 10K. All the proceeds from this event benefited Beans Cafe and the Brother Francis Shelter. 2018 Iditarod will see a reduced purse, roughly $200,000 less than 2017, according to Iditarod CEO Stan Hooley. Rule 11 of this year's rule book stating the purse will be roughly $500,000. Highest percentages going to places 1 through 20, $1,049 each for places 21 through the last finisher. And we were able to catch up with Hooley last night at the Colony football game.
We are like a lot of other organizations. We're struggling a little bit right now in these tough economic times, and we need to make sure that we get healthier as an organization financially. Yeah, Iditarod will go on forever. At some point in time, we'll be able to restore that prize money to better levels than what it looks like it must be this year.
You know, tough financial times, a couple big sponsors pulling out this year, but the exact amount to be announced in December, and Hooley sounded optimistic. You know, he says the Iditarod will go on forever.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, tough time across the state.
Yeah. Well, you know, absolutely.
That's right.
Very
We're
tough.
seeing pinches everywhere. We're seeing the purse strings drawn everywhere. So, you know, it's hard to think, too. Football season now almost over, fall just beginning supposedly, but here it feels like we're full swing.
Yeah, and hey, the wet weather's in full swing, too. Almost like those Sohai victories. It just keeps coming, but not near as cool. Yeah. So more wet weather on the way, at least for tomorrow, for your Sunday to end the weekend. We get a little bit more on Monday, but we start to see the rain taper off, and then they're just kind of scattered over the next couple of days in the work week, but sunshine does make a comeback, at least partly. By next weekend, we're looking pretty good. We're looking at more nice, crisp fall weather with sunshine and mild temperatures. We're still in the mid-50s. That's the good news. And overnight, not quite into the 30s. You can't complain about that. So Mild overnight with temperatures in the 40s and looking good for the end of the work week.
I am so excited for us to get to those sunshine graphics on the chart. All right, that does it for us. Thanks so much.